Alright, and welcome back to Blanca Sports. We're here with our two footy analysts, Harmit Mehta and Shantam Nayak, and they're here to break down all of the moving and shaking of the January transfer window and give you a rundown on who did what. So guys, what do you have to think about the transfer window this year?
Well, folks, the January transfer window and the big name that comes to the lips is Juan Mata going from Chelsea to Manchester United.
Yes.
What do you say?
United spend £37.1 million on him, which is a record transfer for the club. The Spanish international is a great move to Manchester United. He's a creative player. He's excelled at Chelsea and was a player of the year for the last 2 years, and now he's come to Old Trafford. But personally, I think Moyes made the wrong choice by going for Juan Mata.
He says wrong choice, and we can kind of talk about it because Manchester United played Stoke today, and they lost 2-1. And I saw the game, we saw the game, and the Manchester United midfield was quite shaky. Mata wasn't sparkling enough. He wasn't getting the feed from the defenders or the central defensive midfielder that he needs so that he can dish it out to the wings. What do you say on that? Why did it not work out?
United have great midfielders like Michael Carrick, Darren Fletcher, and Cleverley. They've been doing well, but they have not been able to fill in the gap that Paul Scholes left when he retired. They're not able to control the pace of the game. Their ball distribution has been poor. Not enough balls being going to the wings so that the wingers can run down the wings and cross it into the strikers. Now, Juan Mata is a creative central attacking midfielder. What Manchester United really needs is a central midfielder who can control the pace of the game when required and can change a game around using his abilities. And that's why I think Moyes has made the wrong choice by going for Juan Mata. Instead, he should have gone for another central midfielder.
Let's head to a big spender in Premier League, Chelsea, who are always busy in the transfer window. They recently bought Nemanja Matic, a good defensive holding midfielder who has actually filled the void that Essien has left, because Essien just left to AC Milan for free. Now, I personally believe that Matic is a great signing for them because he can be that guy who locks down the defense while they're encountering a counter-attack. So that's good. But what really shook us was the transfer of Mohamed Salah from Basel to Chelsea. We have to remember this. Salah scored 4 goals against Chelsea in the EuroLeague two-leg tie. Why do you think they did that?
They've seen as their central midfield is getting older, like Frank Lampard, who's been a source of a lot of their goals. They're getting older, and in a couple of years they'll retire. So they need someone to come in place of them, and they need to nurture those players. And Mohamed Salah is a great buy. They made a good choice by letting him stay at Basel so that he can gain experience, because at Chelsea their team is already set and he might not get enough playing time and he might not be able to reach his full potential really quickly. But on the good side, he's going to come to a really experienced club, a really great manager in Jose Mourinho, and he can gain a lot of experience from Frank Lampard and John Terry, who've been veterans of the club.
Let's head to Arsenal. Now, many people say that Arsenal need to buy a second striker to give more time to rest Giroud. Arsene Wenger didn't do that. He instead signed on loan Kim Karlström, a veteran 31-year-old midfielder from Sweden. Now, that's an intriguing transfer because Arsenal just lost three of their informed midfielders. Ramsey, he's out for another 6 weeks. Wilshere, he's out for we don't know how much time, and Flamini just got a 4-match ban of that horrendous tackle against a Southampton player. Now, do you think Kim Karlström can solve this short-term issue that Arsenal are facing?
I think Kim Karlström has more experience than all the 3 players you've mentioned, and he can help Arsenal excel and get back at the top of the table. My biggest issue is the replacement for Theo Walcott. Now, as we know, Lucas Podolski has come back from injury, but we don't know what's his caliber currently. Like, he did score 2 goals on his return, but we don't know how fit he is, and will he get injured again, because he's been injured for a long time for them. And if Giroud gets injured, it'll be a big problem because they have no second striker. But if everything goes well, Arsenal have a good chance to win the title this year.
You say Arsenal have a good chance to win the title. Now let's move on to the relegation-threatened teams. West Ham. Wow. They have not actually bought anyone. They've brought in people on loan. Armero from Napoli, Borriello from Roma, and Nocerino from AC Milan. Now all these 3 people are for me much better than anybody in their squad, and except for maybe their midfielder Kevin Nolan. So what do you say on that? Like, is it going to fix their relegation? Is it going to like fix their relegation battle, or like what is Sam Allardyce doing here?
Sam Allardyce, as you know, is a specialist for keeping teams in the Premier League. Now, he's made the right choice by going for super attacking midfields. Even though, for example, Armero, he's going to play in the defense, but he's such an attack-minded player that he's going to help them just run down the wing, put the balls in, and then they're going to do well. Like, I think they're going to survive, and Allardyce has made the right move.
Speaking of surviving, there is a miracle happening in Tyne Sunderland. In August, when Gus Poyet took over, Sunderland was sitting bottom of the league, and right now they are off the relegation zone for the first time this entire season. And Gus Poyet is proving to be the man for the job. They just beat Newcastle at St James Park 3-0 thumping. What do you have to say on that?
A rival game of that stature and winning it says a lot for him. The manager is doing everything right. Poyet has lived up to the fans' expectations, and I see him there for a long time. They also defeated, they made a couple of signings, but without the signings, they also excelled and they beat Manchester United in the two-leg Carling Cup semi-final tie, and now they're off to Wembley and to face Manchester City, and they have a shot at the European Championships.
Yeah, you're right. Let's move to the Spanish league, which is, well, they kind of did not do anything, so there's nothing to talk about it. So let's move to the Italian league. AC Milan. Before Clarence Seedorf came in, they were under heavy trouble. Massimiliano Allegri got sacked. So now, under Seedorf, they've brought in Tarat on loan. They got in Essien for free, and they brought in Keisuke Honda for free. And they also got Adel Rami, a hugely talented defender from Valencia, who scored his first goal today. So what do you have to say on that?
I think it's they've bought players in every field. They've got defense and they've got their midfield going good. Keisuke Honda is a great creative midfielder, and I do not know how CSKA Moscow let him go on a free transfer, which really surprises me. But him behind Balotelli can add immense attack potential, because Balotelli, I think, currently is not being fed enough balls, and with the creativity of Keisuke Honda, I think they're going to do really well.
Let's talk about Juventus. They just have people for every single position, don't they? They have Pirlo for the midfield. There's no questions about that. And Arturo Vidal, who's having a fantastic season. Now, in their striking force, they brought in Osvaldo from Southampton on loan. But they already have too many people. They have Tevez, they have Llorente, they have Vucinic, they have Quagliarella for amazing cover. So why did they bring in Osvaldo?
As you know, the Juventus plays a 3-5-2 formation with the two strikers up front, and I think they got him in for reassurance, because probably the news might not be released to the press, but one of their strikers might be having some problems. That's why they've got in a backup striker, a fifth striker, to fill in the hole. If someone gets injured, they always need a player to go in. If suppose like someone like Quagliarella or Llorente gets injured, then you have another big guy to fill in the shoes, like in place of Osvaldo. Who can hold the ball up and play it around to Tevez, who's got the creativity and the long shots and the technical ability to do so.
Let's talk about one transfer that actually did not happen this January. It happened a month before. So in November, it was Lewandowski signing for Bayern Munich to go there at the end of the summer. Now Bayern Munich, we know, treble champions last year. They won the Champions League, the Bundesliga, and the German Cup. They have everyone. They have star players, and now Lewandowski. This is a team to be feared with.
Bayern Munich, I think so right now, the strongest team available. Their bench can even go out and beat some of the other league's top 4 teams. Like, you have players like Thiago, Götze, who don't even start, and they have great striker in Mandzukic, who's doing excellent. They have people to fill it in or who start, like Toni Kroos, Thomas Müller. I don't know how they do it, but they attract so many great players. And with Lewandowski coming in, their attack is going to be incredible. Like Ribéry and Robin down the wing. You have Kroos, Müller in the central. You have Bastian Schweinsteiger, Javi Martinez, who are the biggest rocks I've ever seen. Like, they don't let anything through their team. I think they're going to go on to win the Champions League this year again.
Again?
It's never been done, but let's hope.
Yeah, Bayern Munich indeed faced Arsenal for the second time in 2 straight seasons. So let's see how that match goes. We're going to talk about the title race. Well, the Bundesliga looks done and dusted. Bayern Munich have a 12-point lead, and I highly doubt that they're going to let it go. Do you doubt it or no?
Nope. Bayern Munich all the way. But one team that really surprises me that I think is going to do is Everton. Because they've acquired a lot of great signings. They got Aiden McGeady and Lassina Traore. Now, Lassina Traore is a huge man. Him up front with the newfound pace with Aiden McGeady and Kevin Miralles, they're going to do excellent. I think they have a chance to get in the top 4 and get Champions League football, which they never even dreamed of before.
The Premier League this season has been more spicy than any other league in a few years. You have Arsenal, who all of a sudden after the first fixture defeat lost to Aston Villa. People were saying, "Oh, sack Wenger," and look what he's done. They sit second with only a point behind Manchester City, who are going to face Chelsea, and so that's going to be a very exciting match. Another thing is La Liga. Barcelona lost their first home game today to Valencia, and that leaves the title race completely open because Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, they both have to play their fixture tomorrow. So especially Premier League and the Spanish La Liga title race is the most heated title race right now.
Yep.
And of course, let's go back to the Premier League. Everton, another amazing surprise. But Liverpool, what a transition from the last 2 years.
Yep.
What do you think?
I think it's all Luis Suarez. It's like last year, because of controversy with Ivanovic, he got banned, and now he's come back to show the class he really is. Like, he's been scoring so many goals. Even he was out for the first couple of games, and he's leading the top scorer by miles. And he is basically Liverpool currently. We used to think it's Steven Gerrard, but now it's Luis Suarez, supported by Steven Gerrard.
Mm-hmm. So the Premier League and the Spanish La Liga titles is anybody's to take. Well, that's all we have for now, folks. Quite a bit later, we will come back when we will discuss teams' chances on the title race, because we still have at least 20 fixtures to go. So that's going to be good.
And we'll also have an update on the Champions League round of 16.
Thank you so much.
Yep. See you later.